Hey, what's going on there, Geeklings? Galactic Criminal back with another reaction video. This time we got something that's special to me, The Killing Joke. Anyway, this video, I assume, it says that it's Kevin Conroy talking about how this movie is going to expand the whole idea of The Killing Joke in the DC universe, so I'm very interested to check this out. You know, if you can't tell by what I'm wearing, or by some of the videos that are on my channel, I'm a big fucking fan of the Joker.
Some might say a little too dedicated.
Not a big fan of the animation style that they chose for Killing Joke. Maybe it'll lend well to it when it comes out, I don't really know, but for now let's just see what Kevin Conroy's got to say about it. We'll press play with a 1, 2.
Fans across the globe are chomping at the bit to see Batman, The Killing Joke, come to life in the new animated movie. To soothe your cravings, we've got the voice of Batman, Kevin Conroy, here to chat about his return as the Dark Knight.
So, Kevin, what made you decide I'm going to come back to the voice of Batman for The Killing Joke?
Well, I like to think I never left the voice of Batman. I've been doing it for 24 years. It's what's wonderful about it is
it's always such a strange guy, you know.
With Mark Hamill, because
it's cool,
that Batman-Joker relationship, it's almost like Joker defines Batman and Batman defines Joker. It's the dark and the light. Sometimes it feels like either of us wouldn't exist.
It's the oldest story
without the other. And Mark and I work so well together.
Do you ever do a Joker
the bad guy's always trying to kill the good
Mark
guy.
can say it, or has
The good
he
guy
ever
never
done it?
kills the bad guy.
No, I could never do
Or
it.
destroys him.
Because Mark becomes Joker.
Yeah.
I wish the audience could see him in the booth. His face is like rubber. And it's like Jim Carrey, you know, he just becomes the character and he's like devouring the microphone.
Yeah.
And when I'm doing Batman, I get very kind of dark and broody, you know. It's weird how we both inhabit the characters when we're in the room.
Well,
it's kind of fun.
Talking about that, where it's like in this one specifically,
Yeah, like I do the Joker voice. When I really get into it, A, it ends up sounding pretty damn good, and B, I have almost like no control over my face and my arms and stuff. I'm like exaggerated.
Life is what you draw on.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And I had a particularly dark and dysfunctional childhood, so there was a lot to draw on.
As you say that, laughing and smiling at me, I'm like, oh, geez, okay.
All those years in the cave.
My kind of guy.
That's why you are the Batman that we know and love. When you heard about this project coming up, was there any nervousness or just straight excitement where you're like, you know, the fans were going to
gotta be so much fucking fun to be a voice actor.
The animated film of The Killing Joke.
Especially when you get to do something that you really enjoy.
Everyone knows about The Killing Joke. It's the archetypical, you know, the great story. So I was very excited to do it. And they've actually expanded it a bit. They've expanded some of the story a bit. There's much more of...
Okay, they're taking a lot of the visuals from the actual book. That's kind of interesting to see how they're going to change that up.
And the struggle, the internal struggle that Batman has, that Bruce Wayne has, in wrestling with the demons in the Joker is much more explored. There are a couple of really wonderful scenes that I have with Mark that I'm really proud of.
So what can you tell us about the character arc of Batman in The Killing Joke?
Like in most...
I really hope they give like a release for this while I'm watching it. I can look it up, but I'd like to know right now.
In an arc.
Or when the video ends, anyway.
Is with the Joker. And he's actually trying to, I think, at one point, like draw the evil out of the Joker. It's a very cathartic process for Batman, this one. And it's a very complete arc for him. I don't know if I can tell you much more than that.
Well, can you tell me, does Batman laugh?
Batman laughs very heartily.
Okay. Is there any chance we can get a tiny taste of it? Or have we already heard it as we're doing this interview? I feel like we...
He goes there. He kind of gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, and I have to ask too, getting to play Batman for so long, is there anything that you haven't gotten to do as Batman that you're like,
there's not a lot of people, I don't really see a lot of people doing like the Kevin Conroy Batman
I would love to do a
impression.
musical version.
Not as many as people try to do of the Joker.
Well, and you were
I think a big part of that is the fact that
to do a little singing.
pretty much
Killing
his
Joke,
voice.
and you're like, that's not fair,
Conroy's
dude.
He
voice
got
itself.
to do the big production.
Like some other
number.
voice
I'm
actors,
watching
they
it.
do, certain characters that are just
You
them.
know, but it's pretty wonderful.
But you at least get to look at him and say, I'm Batman. It's fine. Go ahead, do your singing thing for now.
I am Batman.
Yeah, you are.
That's the way he says it.
Love it. Thank you so much. This was such a great chat. It was great to meet you.
Good to meet you.
We still got a month until Batman the Killing Joke comes out, but you can add the animated Cape Crusader to your phone
Still a month.
right now.
Okay.
All you have to do is download
Mid-July.
the new Batman the Animated Series emojis from the DC All Access app. See you tomorrow, Super Friends.
All Access app. I'm gonna have to get that. So yeah, all in all, cool fucking video. Nice interview with Kevin Conroy. Conroy and Hamill have always been the Batman and the Joker for me. And, ever since I was a kid watching Batman the Animated Series. The comics weren't really my thing when I was a kid. I did have a few here and there. But for the most part, it was really just like the TV shows and the movies that kind of did it for me. But yeah, the Batman the Animated Series was just my favorite show. Every single week I had to watch that. Obviously along with others, like the Spider-Man and all the cartoons like that, the X-Men that were out at the time. But like Batman was always kind of like, my go-to for some reason. I guess it always has been, even until now. And obviously, like when I was a kid, I loved the Batman. He was the hero, and the Joker was the scary guy. But then, like they say, when you get older, you realize that the Joker made more sense. I like the darkness of the whole series. Everything is always like, especially with the Marvel stuff, it's always really bright and colorful, yellows and stuff like that. And Batman was always, dark and black and blue and purple and basically bruise colored. Yeah, I love comic culture. It's fucking awesome. And speaking of comic culture, a friend of mine, Mr. Richard Trevino, has himself a comic book and pop culture podcast. You should check it out. And I think coming up soon, my Joker impression is going to be part of their intro. So go ahead and check out their podcast. It's called Read Between the Panels. I'll put a link in the description for their Facebook, so you can check that out and find out where to get their podcast. Also, I'll put a link in the description for this video, so you can go ahead and check it out for yourself, full screen, full audio. And as always, have yourself a fantastic evening.